Okay, so I'm just going to go over some of the basic ideas that we discussed in class today. I'm going to go over this particular example, which is I'm going to find the slope, the y-intercept, and the equation of that line there. And then I'm going to take the equation and make the graph, so go in the reverse. And I'm going to do it a little different than what we did in class today. So I'm going to show you another method to graph a line. Okay, so let's go back here and look at this problem right here and get started on it. So I have a graph there, and if I want to analyze that graph and have a look at what's going on, I see that it goes up to the right. So I know my slope is going to be positive. I know that the y-intercept is a particular value. So let's just go through this. The marks are here for like what it would be on a test, or an assignment, like how many marks, say, determining the slope would be. So first up, I'm going to determine the slope. I know my equation for slope is rise over 1, or alternatively, we could use the more appropriate formula that says it's really the second y value subtract the first, which calculates the rise, and the second x value subtract the first, which calculates the run. Okay, so I'm going to use that formula to calculate this, because we didn't do that in class today, so it gives you another way to look at it. The slope, so if any 2 points, right, so normally in class we would have said, look, there's the rise between 2 points and the run between 2 points. Counted, and then figured out rise and run. Remember, alternatively, we can use the formula. So let's say this was the first point, so that's x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. Then using the formula, I could say it's 6 subtract 2, which calculates my rise. And then it's 2, x2 subtract x1 will be 2 subtract 0, which calculates my run. And when I subtract 6 and 2, I get 4. And 2 minus 0 is 2, and I divide them, make sure this is simplified to the lowest terms, and it will give me a whole number, so I get 2. So my slope here is 2. And notice, in today we would have counted, there's up 1, 2, 3, 4, rise or run is 2, 4 divided by 2. Okay, so I got my slope being 2. Y-intercept of the line is where it crosses the y-axis, and it's the y value where it crosses the y-axis. So 2 is my y-intercept, so I'll write 2 there. And my equation in y equals mx plus b will be y equals, we've got mx plus b. So my equation must be this 2, because of that's the slope, 2x plus the y-intercept, which is 2. Okay, so there's my equation with that line there. And a little check here is, notice my slope is positive and my line goes up to the right. Okay, let's look at a different problem. Let's do the reverse. So now I have my equation. I have 3x minus 2, and I'm going to graph it. I'm going to graph it, as I say, slightly different than what we did today. Today we would have plotted the y-intercept. So I would have went down here and plotted the y-intercept. Let me just do that quick. And then I would have used my slope being 3 to find more points. So my slope is 3, then possible rise and run could be 3 over 1. So rise would be 3, run 1. So I'd go 1, 2, 3, run 1. 1, 2, 3, run 1. 1, 2, 3, run 1, and so on. I'm getting points line. Or alternatively, I could go back 1, down 3. Back 1, 1, 2, 3. Back 1, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, so then I could draw my nice line through all those points. So that's what we did in class today. Alternatively, we can generate a table of values, which is points on the line. So notice, if I set up the x values and the y values here, I can pick any x values I want, because the line is just points. So as long as I find points on the line, I can graph a line. Remember that this is a formula, right? So if I know the x value, I can calculate the y value by using the formula. So that's another way to look at the equation. Then a general kind of pick is, let's pick some x values, and notice I just picked these x values, and let's generate the table that would go with this. So to figure out when x is 0, okay, so how I'm going to calculate y would be, it's 3 times 0, subtract 2. 3 times 0 is 0, subtract 2, so that's going to be negative 2. So y would be negative 2, and that corresponds with our y-intercept. Okay, or it's 3 times 1, right? When x is 1, plug in 1. 3 times 1 minus 2. That would be 3 minus 2, which is 1. So we've got 1 here. When x is 2, that would be 3 times 2 minus 2. So that's 6 minus 2, that's 4. 3 times 3 minus 2, that would be 9 minus 2, which is 7. And 3 times 4 minus 2 would be 12 minus 2, which is 10. Okay, so now I've got a collection of points. These points represent the line, so I just plot the points. So 0 and -2 was the first point we plotted. Then we got 1, 1. Then we got 2, 4. And then we got 3, 7. And then we got 4, 10. Notice those points are on the line. And if I say I wanted, what would it be at, say, -3, then I could just plug in -3. So I could go 3 times -3 minus 2. And I get -9, subtract 2, that'd be -11. So -11 would be down here, way down there. I could plot that point. Okay? So now I've graphed that line. Let me draw a line through the points now. So notice I can start here, I can draw this nice line, I'll have it span all of that. Okay, and last thing I'll do is label the line. So that line there was the line y equals 3x minus 2.